Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Lynn on the Line. It's a beautiful day in Virginia. It's a beautiful day in each state across America. It's a beautiful day in the United States. It always comes down to how we look at life. You know, there's a saying that goes like this. It says, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, that's an easy one to say, and it's a pretty easy thing to do on just your average day with just your average people. But these aren't average days, and we aren't average people. At least we're not supposed to be. These are tumultuous times. The entire world is in upheaval from one corner of the earth to the other. There's a lot of uncertainty, and although many people claim to be the tough that get going, it sure doesn't look like it from where I'm sitting. You might be thinking, well, it's tough to get going when you're on lockdown, but that tough to get going doesn't have anything at all to do with physical limitations. It has everything to do with the head and the heart. You see, COVID-19, it isn't impacting your life or your business at all. It's impacting your heart and its mind and your mind for sure. You know, we still have hope. We still have telephones. We still have the internet. We can all still work. The Bible has this to say about persevering through tough times. In James 1:2-4, it says, consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So the $64 question is, are you persevering throughout these times, or are you merely enduring the agony and making sure your world knows it? When I look out to the internet, where I do most of my business, by the way, it's not my entertainment, I see a whole lot of people adding salt to wounds, spreading fear faster than you can say amen, and even more, spreading vile information in hopes of getting more and more people on board with some conspiracy theories that they've bought into. I guess misery really does love company, that's for sure. You know, I just wonder how the great I Am feels about all those conspiracy theories. You know, I wonder what was it like in Egypt, you know, when he set forth the plagues, and did people run around as fast as they could spreading bad news, the sky's falling, we're all dead, you know, claiming to know the hows and the whys? Or did they accept God for who he is? Did they hit their knees crying out for mercy? Did they accept that God was doing what God does best? And did they somehow find their peace? I don't know for sure what it was like, but I just know what it's like today. And instead of accepting that God is doing what God does best, we're busy blaming somebody or something else as if God's clueless to our circumstances. You know, yes, earlier this week, I was on a business call, and as part of that call, this conversation came out, kind of a conspiracy kind of thing. And it just, you know, I because it was business, I didn't say, excuse me, I'm not entertaining this conversation. I just went on with it, right? And it probably lasted 45 minutes or so. At the end of that call, I set out to go back to work, and I was just uptight. I was stressed. I couldn't figure it out at first. And I said, wait a minute, I just allowed somebody to pour negative, toxic, destructive things into my mind and into my heart for the last 45 minutes or so. So I had to get myself straight. Listen, so many people believe they have all the answers. That is the truest definition of arrogance. God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways. So how in the world are you theorizing life and telling the world how the West was won? Humility and arrogance cannot exist together. We're either one or we're the other, right? Some people are certain of where COVID-19 came from, and they're absolutely certain about who's behind it. And there's a lot of arrogance wrapped up in that as well. But the most dangerous aspect of where we are and what we're enduring comes down to allowing ourselves to become distracted by it all. People becoming so consumed with the negative, and they're sharing it with the world as fast as they can. They may claim to be working a business, but you know what? It's not humanly possible to succeed when we're consumed with hopeless negativity. I live for the day when God's people would be as passionate about spreading the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ, as they are about spreading all that bad stuff. When people become distracted, you know what? Anything is possible, and much more is lost than gained when we're distracted. And so many of you are feeding into that problem hour upon hour and almost minute upon minute. Some of you have messaged me about, you know, videos to watch. Some of you have tagged my timeline and I haven't allowed it onto my timeline. And you've tagged me with articles to read. Some have even asked me, you know, why aren't you watching this, or why haven't you commented on that? Well, let me tell you something, folks. It's not possible to comment on things I refuse to watch or to read. I'm focused on one God, the one who created me, the one who redeemed me, the one who calls me by name, not on any man or woman theorizing on why we are where we are today. There's only one who knows the answer to all that, and he's not on the internet. You know, I'm only interested in one book to read. You read, sending me articles and all this stuff, you know, books that prophesied all this stuff. I don't care about any of that. I'm reading one book these days, and I'm more focused on things being well with my soul than I am on things being well with the world. Now, if you want to send me some positive things, some spiritual things, some uplifting things, some things filled with hope, something funny, you're definitely going to get my attention. But why are you so set on poisoning your own mind and the mind of your world? What good can possibly come from being distracted and filled with negative things? As entrepreneurs, we should all know by now the danger of focusing on negative things. And if not, you know what? You need to repeat Personal Development 101. As Christians, it boggles my mind how anybody can turn away from the good and focus on the bad. If you want to drink the Kool-Aid, that's your prerogative. And I say that with all due respect, but you'll pay a spiritual price for it. And it's a big one. I'll pass, you know what? And because I do, I will still be successful in my business, and I'll still be used by the King of Kings on lockdown or not. And neither one of those things is possible for you if you continue to chase all that bad. You know, whether we're addressing business or faith or the single most important aspect of remaining focused, no matter what's going on, is to stay mission focused. As human beings, we yearn for meaning and fulfillment. And one of the quickest ways to achieve that and to simultaneously minimize distraction is to stay mission focused in all that we do. I'm mission focused on the living God. I'm mission focused on my work. I'm mission focused on changing lives, right? It's easy to wake up each morning and go through the motions and kind of coast along. But when you stay mission focused, distractions don't stand a chance. And it's true in every area of life, from your relationships to your children, to your journey of faith, and most assuredly in a business. A constant reminder of the why behind all those things leaves no room for destructive distractions. To help yourself in that regard, you know, you might want to think about posting your mission statement. Surely you have one for your business. You know, post it right there at your desk. I'm pretty sure you ought to be spending a lot of time at your desk these days. You know, post scripture, post the things that uplift you. Put all those things that you're mission minded about, from your family to your faith to your business. Put it all out there for you to see. I have all those things on my desktop. I have it on my laptop. I have it on my tablet. I have it on my phone, and I have a note card I carry in my purse. If I don't have the scriptures or whatever embedded, you know, into my mind, I'm going to recall them by looking at them. We don't stay mission focused. When we don't stay mission focused, distractions have a play day, man. They intrude more often than you can possibly imagine. People forget why they're here and where they're going because they become sidetracked. I doubt there will ever be a better time in your lifetime or mine for us to share what we have with the world than it is right now. Everything from a product or service to a business opportunity to an opportunity to, you know, make a little more money, you know, side money, extra money, if you will, whether it comes down to health things or financial things or anything in between, or the message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. The world is looking, folks. It's looking for peace and hope and solutions. The world is searching. So you're going to fill that need or not? You know, they're not looking for anything more bad, but there's enough of that to go around for 10 generations. They're looking for good. So isn't it time for you to give it to them instead of spreading hopeless news from one corner of the earth to the other? If you want problems, if you want to see what worries look like, what an upside down life looks like, you can turn to Job. Job lost everything, including his kids. They all died. Snap your fingers and thinking about all your children being dead all at once. His economy tanked, and he had no ability to earn money. That kind of probably what some of you are thinking right now. And he found himself in physical agony at the trash heap, scraping his sores. And God allowed him to be tormented by Satan. Listen, he was the most righteous man on the planet. But God said, go on with it, Satan. You know, consider my servant Job. The only restriction was that he had to spare his life. The most righteous man got a really good talking to by God. You see, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but when Job was sitting there surrounded by his friends, Job kept defending God and explaining God to his friends. You know, when they would say, you had to do something to deserve this, Job would talk about his righteousness. And even Job, defending God, got into in the wood, got taken to the woodshed. And God said, who are you to darken my counsel with words without knowledge? So here he is. He takes a big hit from God. God allows all this to happen, and he's defending God. And God still says, who do you think you are? So listen, guys, if God can say that to the most righteous man alive, who was defending the God of the heavens, what do you think he thinks of you as you arrogantly spread words without knowledge, claiming you know what God is up to or not? If I were you, I'd knock that nonsense off. And while you're giving credit to the enemy for the COVID-19, don't you ever forget that God has more power than the enemy does, and God allowed it for reasons of his own. So it's time to get to work, folks. It's time to stop trying to figure out what's going on. It's time to just believe in the one who knows what's going on. When when the going gets tough, the tough get going, and with good in mind and with hope in our hearts. Darkness cannot exist with the light, and good cannot exist with the bad. So which one will it be for you? Are you a tough one that's going to get going, or are you throwing in the towel and obsessed with all the whys? Are you obsessed with having answers you are never going to have answers to? Only you can answer that. And it all comes down to choice. So I hope you're going to make the right one, so that you can find your peace and find your success in this dark world, no matter what's going on. The only thing, the COVID-19, the lockdown, all this stuff going on is not preventing you from finding your peace, to finding your success, to finding your joy. You're doing that by filling up your mind and filling up your heart with things not only that you don't have the ability to understand, but that have served no good purpose in life. And that's it for me, folks. Go make it a great day. Bye-bye.